Elma, what? Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unfiltered with Elle. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're listening in on AO Radio, appreciate that. If you're listening to Earthful Network, we appreciate that as well. Today is Tuesday, and on Tuesdays we always have a special guest. So we have started off the month of February, which is Black History Month, my favorite month besides December, of course. It's also Black History Month, but it's also my birthday month. So I love February, and here we are. So today's first guest we have is I'm going to point him as musician extraordinaire. Um, Peter Howard is going to join us from LA, and I'm going to get him. There he is. Wait, hold on. What did I do, Brianna? Can you do it, or you want me to do it?
I got you.
Brianna better do it. Brianna's my tech person, so
Hey.
Hi, Peter. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. About a 9 out of 10. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. You look good.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Now this is Elle Unfiltered, so I may say anything. Don't be shy.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So what's different about the other show? Because you say whatever on that show too.
Well, I'm just unfiltered all the time. So let's just put it like that. And that's
I can appreciate that.
See, exactly. People like honesty, right?
People like honesty.
They like you to be direct. Well, that's me. I might be too direct. So I'm gonna try to control myself. So, Peter, how is everything going out there in LA now that the fires have kind of burned down? So, how's it going?
Oh, it's been all right. It's been kind of weird. They, as I understand it, still haven't opened up a large portion of town that was really affected by the fires. The whole Pacific Palisades area, I believe, is still closed off. But the air quality is better.
Good.
It's not quite as apocalyptic as it was
Ooh.
about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
What? So what was going through your mind? Because I lived out there like 20 years ago, and I remember some of the fires, and I was involved in a couple of fires. What was it like for you? What were you feeling during that whole time?
Well, it was very strange. It seemed very very distant, very conceptual, very it was something that I saw on the news, but I was like, wow, that's like crazy that this is happening so close to me. Until it wasn't, until it got very real very quickly. One of the fires was called the Sunset Fire.
Okay.
And it started about a mile and a half from where I live.
That's really close.
And it was really close. And the thing that was so noticeable about those fires is that they started and they grew very, very quickly.
Okay.
I was finishing up some stuff at 5 o'clock. I was just it was a decently normal day. It was weird. It was like, wow, these things are going on the other side of town. And you could see smoke.
Right.
But things were relatively normal. By about 5:45, I was having to evacuate. So
wow.
It was it was weird. It started around 5, as I understand it, and by 5:45, 6 o'clock, it was getting to the point where they're having to do mass evacuations. So it was the wind. The wind was really
those Santa Anas. I remember those Santa Anas. It's just like nothing.
They go pretty hard when they go hard.
Yeah. What people don't understand is that they're like, well, how do people live out there? But like you said, you were on the other side of town, so you could see it, but it wasn't touching you at the moment.
Right. So at the beginning of it, the most noticeable thing to me was the wind. It was very unusually windy that day.
Yeah.
And I've been here for a few years.
Okay.
But I can honestly say I'd never experienced any wind, even remotely like that. It was, I've experienced Santa Ana winds before, and they're certainly not nothing. But this was like an event. I was going across town, and this was the day before it got very real for me. I remember there's a cafe called Swingers off.
Okay.
I know it's like when I first heard about it, I was like, what kind of business is this? But it's a diner.
Okay.
Um, and I just remember really being taken aback by the fact that I was having to push really hard to leave.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
the door was like not wanting to open because the wind was blowing against it.
You sound like you were in the Midwest because we get those like in Chicago when the wind is really heavy
Oh
and you
yeah,
get out the door and or the door just takes you away. It just opens
oh
up.
yeah. I
Yeah.
I lived in Michigan for a year and I've been to Chicago a few times and they're not screwing around with their wind over there.
Yeah, no,
It's
no.
that lakefront wind. It really gets you.
Especially if you're by the lakefront, absolutely. So
Absolutely.
you were born in Texas, right?
Yes, I was born in San Antonio.
You were born in Texas, and then you made your way to Michigan for college, right?
So I actually went to a place called Interlochen Arts Academy
Okay,
for 1 year. It was my senior year of high school,
okay,
and that was up in near Traverse City.
okay.
You know where that is? So like, Detroit is here, and then you got
Yeah,
the kind of the thumb up here, and then Traverse City is over here. It's on the west side
okay.
of the state. Um, so I was there for 1 year, yeah, and then I went to Virginia for college, and then I transferred to Belmont University, where I finished up in Nashville.
Wow, wow. So
Just
what was that
kind
like?
of ping
What was
ponging
that?
around the country.
Yeah, and you're still very young, and you've done a lot of traveling already. Yeah,
I sure have.
yeah. So what was
I
it
sure
like for
have.
you leaving home and going to taking your senior year and away from home? What was that like for you? And how did that even happen?
It was kind of nerve wracking. I imagine everyone has some level of that when they leave home. But I really built my life around music at a pretty young age,
Hmm.
and I felt like I was kind of the only person that I knew that really did that.
Oh,
But when I went to Michigan, um, everyone was like that because Interlochen is like an arts based place.
uh-huh.
The school it's an arts academy. So everyone was super incredible, and I was suddenly a very small fish in a very big pond.
Okay.
But some of the most talented people I've ever met to this day, I met there.
So, because you were in Michigan, did you ever have the chance to go? Detroit is known for its music. So, did you ever have a chance to go to Detroit and kind of experience some of that culture?
Unfortunately, no. I really wanted to, but the only time I was able to go to Detroit was, I think, once I went through there to get to the airport. But that's honestly that's like right at the top of places that I really want to go. Like still in the U.S. The music history there is unbelievable.
It's
The
unbelievable.
Motown, oh my lord.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, I'm surprised. I would have thought that you would have taken that opportunity to kind of just ensconce yourself in that environment, Detroit.
Well,
You
I agree. I agree. I mean, I'm disappointed that I wasn't able to do that because that was such a
so that was
great
a missed
opportunity to
opportunity.
to just bathe in the musical history.
So what got you started into music? I read that you started playing piano with your grandmother. Can you say that she's a musical person in your family?
She would have been one of them. Yes. I would say honestly both sets of grandparents decently
Okay.
musical, but neither of my parents are super musical, so it's kind of
Well, it skips a generation.
skipping a generation, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, that my grandmother's old piano is very she recently passed
Oh,
a
I'm
couple
sorry
years
to hear
back, and that is definitely my most valuable thing, of hers, at
So
this point.
do you have that with you? You have your grandma's piano with you?
It's back in Texas.
Oh, it's back in
It's with my family back in Texas. I would have been nervous to move that to California.
time. So do you think that California is where you're going to stay for the long run?
I hope so. I love it. I mean, it's very expensive, um, which is certainly a a net negative, but I certainly hope so. There, if the business really goes to another place, which it is kind of starting to, that might be a conversation that I have down the line. But
So what do you mean the business is kind of going to another place? What do you mean by that?
sure. So in 2023, there were these strikes,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Hollywood strikes,
Hmm.
and they were very notable in that the WGA, the Writers Guild,
Yep.
was striking at the same time
Yes.
as as SAG-AFTRA,
You're right.
and that hadn't happened since the '60s, I don't believe.
Hmm.
But there's a lot that goes into this. But essentially, in during COVID, a lot of these film companies got this really inflated sense of demand of like, wow, everyone is at home and everyone is binging Netflix. Oh my lord, like we have the most profitable product ever. So a lot of them debt financed a lot of productions during COVID.
Okay.
What? My hair is going crazy.
No, I'm liking the hair. Really, I'm liking the hair.
They debt financed a lot of productions during COVID, and then, as pandemics do, COVID died down, and
Hmm.
people went back to work. They went back to their regular lives,
Hmm.
and this artificial demand for products like Netflix went way down. But they've already leveraged themselves out with all of this debt for X number of projects.
Okay.
So all these executives were like, "Oh my gosh, what do we do? We've overextended ourselves." And compounded with the strikes, um, a lot of the industry in LA has actually been hurting pretty badly the last couple of years.
Okay.
A
Okay.
lot of productions have been moving to places like London and Hungary and South Korea.
Wow.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah, it's becoming a bit more decentralized, and people here are kind of just trying to figure out what this is all going to look like, 3, 4, 5 years down the line.
See, I always thought that when you started having things like Netflix and all these
Hmm.
other streaming I guess streaming apps you want to call them, I always thought that was to me like was detrimental to this whole studio business as a whole, because
It
people are
is
used
very
it
much
is,
so. You're right.
exactly.
You're right.
And then
Absolutely.
so I said, well, why would the studios get on board like there's Paramount, then there's Paramount Plus. So why would Paramount try to get into the streaming instead of keeping that business into the studio instead of going streaming?
So I definitely think there's been this transition towards streaming with the general public in
Mhm.
all media in the past 20 years. I remember back in when I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
we had like LimeWire and iTunes, and
Okay.
you downloaded songs, but the
Yeah.
music
Right.
industry was the first industry to really go the way of streaming,
Hmm.
where Spotify probably 2007, 2008 came out, and people became very acclimated very quickly to streaming their music. And then Netflix took a look at that and was like, "Hey, people are kind of going that way." Um, and they became very successful getting into that market very quickly.
Hmm.
Um, and it just seems like in the past 10 years that has
Hmm.
increasingly been how people have wanted to consume their media, their films.
Hmm.
Um, and like the cable business has not been doing very well. They've actually been like very debt burdened in a lot of like Paramount. A lot of the TV channels that they own are not very profitable.
But
And people have kind
but
of
that's because I think that's because of the streaming. So if people would just,
right, absolutely.
in my opinion, if you would just like limit streaming to, like you said, maybe music or something like that, then maybe you can get the entertainment industry as a whole back on its feet. But I think the mistake studios are making is that you're trying to get in on something. You need to distinguish yourself as being something different. So why would you want to be like everyone else and have streaming when you like, well, we have like linear television. It's still
For
there.
sure, for sure.
People still watch it.
Absolutely. And I think uh, what's become kind of worrying about this whole situation is that you had these early movers into streaming like Netflix become very successful doing
Yeah.
this. And now that it's kind of become the norm, there's this bigger question of like, uh, when you go to a theater, you're paying $20, $25,
Right.
whatever. You're paying a decent amount of money, but you're
Mhm.
putting it towards what you want. You're not if they're showing 10 films at the theater, you're not paying for the other 9. You're paying for the one. And so it
But see,
becomes easy to kind of,
but that's the
you know,
luxury of it to me, though. It's like when you go to the theater, I'm choosing to see this one. I don't want it when we sit in my house and stream because that's like going to like a date thing, going out to the movies. How are you gonna even dating now when you have Netflix? You can say we can just go to my house, Netflix, and have maybe order pizza or something. So to me, you take the norm out of certain things, or you make it too normal. So there's nothing
well,
special about the movie.
right. And to that point, it's become very normalized that you pay 12, $13 a month for kind of an all-you-can-stream buffet of
And that's I
films.
don't like that.
And maybe that would work if it was licensing, if it was films that were already made, that you're just giving new life to them, like old films from the 70s and 80s or
I
whatever.
like that. Yeah.
But a lot of these companies do original content. And of course, when you're making a film, some of these films can cost 50, 60, 70 million dollars, and that money
Yeah.
has to come from somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's one thing if most of that money is coming from like box office sales, like the traditional model where you're
Right.
paying for that movie. But it's a bit murkier and a bit shakier when you're paying $12, $13 a month, and somehow that has to finance hundreds of original productions.
And
And
it's not working. It's not coming out to me. It's not. It's not. Yeah.
well, right. And streaming sounds like a great deal, but I think most people would agree that they only watch a few things on a given streaming service.
Exactly. You're right. You're right. Because I'm one of those people. I don't really want to watch my weekly content. Say I'm a fan of the TV show Rookie. I'm
Sure.
not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna watch that. Like you said, unless I miss an episode or I want to go back and look at maybe a season, that's why I would use streaming. But the new episodes, I'm watching it on my linear television. That's what I want. I
Yeah,
don't want it to be
absolutely.
that would make sense to me for the whole streaming thing. But to put new content on a stream, I'm not really understanding. I don't think it's financially feasible for studios to do that. It's not.
Sure. It's not. It's absolutely not. And that's become like a big fat question mark on the next couple of years is like, where does this all lead? What's the end game with this? Because it's been putting a lot of pressure on a lot of people who live here. Many people have mortgages and, really have set down roots in this really hard rote financial sense, who have gotten consistent work for 30, 40 years, who
Right.
now are like, oh gosh, like, I don't know when my next paycheck is coming in.
That's crazy.
Because
Yeah.
because so much of the industry now is streaming, and those streamers are so in debt from COVID that they've pulled back and they're doing half of what they were a couple years ago.
You're right because I always hear like Netflix is the other one. What's the other big one that they're constantly talking about their financial issues? But I
Yeah,
know
like
that's
Hulu, Netflix,
because they laid
Prime,
off a lot of people, right? They laid
Paramount
off so many
Plus.
people. Yep. Yeah.
Hmm. And there's a lot of there's mergers and acquisitions that are happening, like between Paramount and Skydance, and a number of these companies aren't doing so hot, so they're getting absorbed into different companies. A lot of the big financiers behind films now are like tech bros, like Amazon is a great example of that, or Apple.
Oh, I'm gonna
Um,
say I still hate Amazon. I'm not a fan.
yeah, I mean, there's definitely like an argument of like,
So how are you
is it
really?
really possible to be a good shepherd of like the film industry, when you're more interested in like selling Prime memberships than creating Oscar-worthy films?
That is such a good question.
The more you divvy up your business between different products and services, I think it becomes increasingly difficult to like focus on making great films.
You can tell that you're an entertainment person because you know the entertainment. You seem to know the inner workings of how the entertainment industry is supposed to work. And I'm
Well,
like,
thank you.
I think certain people need to stay in their lane. It's fine to kind of branch out a little bit, but for the most part, like for me, like you mentioned, Amazon, stay in your lane. The film industry is not your lane. It's not.
Sure, yeah. I mean, selling a film is very different from selling, you know,
Substandard products.
standard products, right? That they ship in, 2 to 3 business days.
Right, right, right. So
um, and Apple too. I mean, Apple has one of the biggest streaming services in the world now with like Apple Plus.
really,
They do, but I remember not too long ago, I there's a person who I was talking to who who's been a producer for certain stuff through them, and he was very adamant of like, oh, they like it if the show is good, but like at the end of the day, they're using these shows as a marketing tool to bring you into the Apple ecosystem and sell you a phone.
wow.
So,
You got some
so it's
good
like
information. I didn't even
it's
see.
a
I didn't even
plus when
connect
the
the
show
dots.
is good.
Honestly, that was really cool. I didn't even connect the dots.
It's good when the show is good. They like it.
Yeah.
They relish it. But like the primary MO there is to like suck you into Apple products in general so you buy a phone. That's where the money is,
I love it. I didn't. You know what? I didn't even put two and two together, but that makes sense. And plus, I'm not an Apple phone. I'm not an Apple user, so
Sure. I mean, Apple does a really
I'm old school. If you want to say whatever, I don't do Apple iPhone. So
my big complaint with them, like I understand why, of course, that they do this, but they do have a habit of they have this Apple ecosystem that they draw you into, and then like they'll go out of their way to make sure that the chargers for a generation before with the phones doesn't work on the new one or whatever. So you have to buy
I agree with you.
a new
Yep,
charger and keep
yep,
buying more and more stuff from them.
yep,
And I
yep,
get it, but like,
yeah. See,
you know,
that was one of my one turn off to them is that I feel like when they first came out, you had to buy all these different apps and things of that nature. And so I was like, I'm not doing that. I can just keep my Android phone. And I can get the same apps. I get them for free. So
no,
I'm not doing
absolutely.
that.
I mean, the apps are coded, I believe, the same. Like Apple and Android, I think it's like, right?
Oh,
You
you're
can
gonna
get
get
pretty
in
much the same
trouble.
stuff.
I'm telling you.
I think you can get pretty much the same software on an Android as you
Oh,
can on an
you're
iPhone.
you're gonna get in trouble for that. I didn't know that, but now that's more information for me to use. When people say, "Oh, my iPhone," I'm like they use the same thing. Okay, all right. So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel you there, but
you are a composer. So you are a composer. You're a singer, right?
I am. I'll be honest. I've kind of neglected that side of things for the past while, but yes, I do sing.
Why? Why have you neglected that? So
I don't know. I mean, I think I've just kind of gotten wrapped up in. Honestly, that's been a conversation I've sort of been having with with my friends as of late. Of like, why have you put this on the back burner so much? But I think you move to LA and you get into the film scene and you do a couple gigs and you really like them, and life sort of just happens.
I know.
And
So making films now, is that really your where your heart is? Make as a
definitely,
music
I love
industry?
scoring films. I mean, it is genuinely very fun. Um,
Really?
it's very specific. Like it's a very specific skill set. Um, but it's very cool. There's nothing quite like it. Sitting down with a director on a project
Mhm.
and doing something called spotting a film. That's like where you sit down with them and you say, I hear music here, here,
Yeah,
not here,
yeah.
maybe here. And the two of you kind of talk it out and hash out the details of where you want music, what kind of music you want. And I feel like with pop music, it always felt like this very self-contained thing, which is cool. It's great, But with film, you're serving something bigger. You're serving a bigger project that a lot of people have been working on. And there's something that's very exhilarating to me about like the collaborative element of that, and like
Yeah.
kind of putting your own spin on this huge project, this big visual fiesta, right? This film, and just kind of breathing a certain level of life into it, I feel.
I would have loved to have someone like you when I was working on a project that I did a few years ago. I'm a writer, director, whatever, same thing.
Sure.
So I created a project called Relatable Moments. It's on somewhere out, one of those places out there. And the thing biggest issue I had was the music. I had the music that I wanted in certain scenes, but I couldn't get the person to really read what I was trying to, what I wanted that scene to be. So it was really hard for me to get the right music for the right scenes. So I can
Sure.
appreciate what you're saying when it comes to that.
That's definitely, I think, the most difficult part of the job is it's the act of translation that is very
Yeah.
hard, and you can't really teach someone to do it. You sort of just have to do it and mess up a few times, and then
And many people think that
mess
they
up a
can
little bit less as you keep
when
going.
when you say you just want music, people think, oh, I can just get in and I can just make the music for the scene. But that's not it. To me, it's like interpreting the scene, saying that the acting from the characters, their emotions, and then you create from there. That's how I look at creating a
Yeah,
score for.
absolutely. I mean, I think when I'm sitting down trying to figure all that out, so much of it does come down to like the larger emotion that is being conveyed between the actors, whether it's a sad conversation or something like
Absolutely.
that, kind
Hmm.
of highlighting it.
Yep.
Because I feel like music does a great job at like saying what can't be said in plain English.
Exactly. Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's the immersion factor. Um, a lot of people forget that there even is a score in a film when they're really in the film. Um, because I think it's kind of just it's highlighting what else is going on. But if you do it well, it doesn't overwhelm anything. It just kind of makes the sad acting a little bit sadder, makes the happy montage a bit happier.
Yeah. To me, the mark of a great film is the score, the music.
Sure, yeah,
Because you can leave out of a theater or you can remember a particular song in the scene, and you can like that will make you want to right now we say download the whole, I guess, all the music from the film. Back in the day we used to have to like buy the whole CD or whatever from the
yeah,
film.
like a CD or a vinyl
Yeah.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah. And so now, so to me the music is very important, and that's what you do.
I think it's extremely important. I mean, I'm certainly biased myself, but my gosh, yeah, I think
So when you get with the director and he says, um,
uh-huh.
what are you looking for him to explain to you what he wants? What does that director need to say to you to say this is what I need you to put together for me?
Sure. So some directors are musicians. The vast
Okay,
majority of them are not. So there is like a
right.
language of musicianship of like, you know, minor scales, major scales, diminished chords, dissonance, things like that.
Uh-huh.
Most directors are not going to necessarily be able to meet you there.
Yep. Right.
Most of them are speaking in terms of like abstractions of like, this feels X, Y, and Z way to me
Yep.
because of the way the lamppost is yada yada. We're like at this point they just finished the bank heist, and I want it to feel like angry,
that
but also
that would be
badass,
me.
but
That would
also
be
like
me.
sullen and reflective. And I think there's something very like I've always found that like film scoring, it's a very sacred process. I feel because it's like um, a director is handing this to you, and the score is a huge part of a film, like you were saying, and it's like
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
like their
they
baby.
get Oscar nominated. Scores are Oscar nominated.
And
So
sure, and so many people in most cases have put their blood, sweat, and tears into making this thing as good as it can be.
yeah.
And now it is up to you to interpret into music what the composer has been trying to convey visually already.
Hmm.
Um, and so, there's a weight to that of like, I really want to have incredible communication to the best of my ability with this director because I really want to understand what it is that's in their brains, and I want to be able to put it out into music. Um, and yeah, there's not really a way to teach anyone that. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's college courses on that, but really at the
No,
end of the day,
to me, it's just a matter of really listening and then maybe watching the scene. But I get what you're saying because it was hard for me to kind of explain because when you come on, well, what are you looking? What do you want? I was like, okay, well, and I look at the scene and I look at my writings and I say, okay, I want this elevator, that lore, or just just try to explain. It's really difficult for a director to do that. So we need people like you to interpret our gibberish, so to speak.
well, we need we need writers, directors, producers to give us things to interpret, but I definitely think that a huge part of the job is like if a composer says, I need something to sound like angry elves. You need to be able to go to your rig, your audio rig, and like figure out a way to make something that sounds like angry elves, whatever that means.
That is so creative. That is so creative. And I got another guest coming in, so I got to go in a few minutes. But
Of course.
how was it working with Peter Foley? How was it working with him?
Oh, Peter Foley's the man. Peter Foley's really he's the real deal. When I moved here, I did not know many people. And I ended up kind of meeting him through just a fluke chance. Okay. And it's really blossomed into this incredible friendship that I have with the guy. He's the real deal. He has worked in film for a long time.
Yes,
and
he has. Yes.
He knows what the hell it is he is doing. He is certainly like a role model to me in terms of just someone who like just knows the ins and outs of how the industry works. Definitely. And is able to like get her done, I mean, he's very prolific.
Yeah. When he was here, I told him, I said, we got to work on a project together.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He's,
I mean, I think we could create something amazing. So I told him, and we keep talking sources. He says, well, I got to go look at the project that you did. I was like, go find it and then let me know what you think about it. So I know he was looking at it. So we'll see if that ever comes to fruition. But I want to say thank you so much. You have given me so much to think about when it comes to composing a score and just writing for film. You seem super talented. So I want you to come back and talk to me again.
Absolutely. I would love to.
You got to come. You got to stay longer next time.
I would love to, of course. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. I hope you can stay safe out there and we have no more fires.
Very much so.
Well, from your lips to God.
No more fires.
All right. Yay! And make sure you celebrate Black History Month, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Have a good one. Have a good talk to you later. Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see. There you go. You guys are listening to our conversation with Peter Howard. Hey. So who's next?
I gotta check.
I think Tim was there. Tim's there.
Tim's always there.
Okay. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter, for being my first guest of the afternoon. Now here's my
evening.
If Tim McGeary is here. Tim has
What's
got it has my screen, please.
I got you. Hold on.
Okay. Tim McGeary is one of my all-time favorite people in the whole wide world.
And Elle, you're one of my favorite.
I better be your favorite. Besides your wife first. Your wife
that's,
first.
That's good. Wife first. Wife gotta take 44 years we've been married.
44?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord,
yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. I got hot just thinking about that. Oh my God.
And we still like each other.
That's beautiful. Okay. That's fantastic. So Tim is here. Tim, it's 8:00 there. You're like an hour ahead of me. Tim is in Florida. Where in Florida are you at? I always forget.
I'm in Naples. Naples, Florida.
He's in Naples.
Yeah, Naples is like old people move to Florida and their parents move to Naples. A lot of old people.
Damn.
Oh, I'm talking. Oh, yeah. So.
Tim, you are something else. I don't even know what to say to you.
Well, things are going great, by the way.
So I know. I mean, I was looking at some of your social media, and you're in the midst here. You guys getting back in the studio.
Mm-hmm. We are.
And you're still with the band, right?
Well, we just it's basically it's Robert and I. You know what
okay.
I mean? And you got that new song, right? I Ain't Your Maybe.
Yes, I do.
Come on now, bring it. Isn't that like little? That's got some. I call it like Southern country funk. Woohoo! Come on,
How did you even come up with that country stuff? How did you guys come up with that?
Well, I had like a riff on my guitar, and I was working at it, and then we worked on we had a keyboard player that we knew, and it's funny because he never had been in the studio ever in his life, and
Really?
and yeah, so we said, don't be nervous. I said, like, it's my studio, so I'm not charging any time. Just like I want you to relax, and he came up with a really cool part. I was like, wow, this is good, man. This is really good. So then I have I have some tools on my computer that make sure that everything stays straight. You know what I mean? It's
Uh-huh.
called quantized. Yeah. So it's like so when I got with the loop and stuff, and it straightened that out. And he was pretty close. You know what I mean? He wasn't way far off, but this thing like tightens it up like boom, and sound great. So that came out great. And then Robert, he loved it, and he came up with some great guitar parts. And just thanks for vocals. And then my friend Ray Nesbitt. What a lot of times I do is because sometimes when you're writing songs and singing songs and producing it, sometimes you need somebody else to mix it later. That
Okay.
has a whole set of new ears. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to take your ego out of the game and say, listen, I want this to sound the best it can be. So my friend Ray Nesbitt, he's recorded me like in many albums and many songs before, probably over 40 or 50. So we're good friends. Him and his wife and my wife are friends, and they're two peas in a pod. So and I said, and he's been doing that. And he's been doing a lot longer than me. And so and so when I get somebody that knows more than me, and I know I get it sound even better than I can get it. Well, that's the object. I don't care, because at the end of the day, you got a great sounding track, And so we're getting a lot of good reviews on that so far. People are really digging it, so that's good.
Awesome.
That just came out like a couple of days ago. So you're one of the first people that got it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think Tim is sitting. Anytime Tim sends me something new, I know I
Yeah.
have to bring him on to talk about it. So
Well,
it,
let's see what else is going. Oh, so what else going on is I got 6 songs in a movie. What's called
what? What? Back up. Back up. Don't just gloss over that. Don't just gloss over that. Say
yeah,
that again.
okay. I got 6 songs in a movie. It's called "The Kiss Me Curse." They used that one single "Love Does," that real pretty sort of song. I think I sent you that like a couple months ago.
Okay.
And then I have the one from the album "When Love Comes Around." But then it's a sort of a comedy horror thing. I guess the movie, a girl got jilted, so she puts a curse on this other girl that jilted her, and that girl, if she falls in love, as soon as she kisses somebody, they die 3 months later.
Oh wow.
So it's like, but I think it's like there's a comic approach to it. You know what I mean? It's
So she's kind of like the Black Widow, but with
yeah. But she just put it. Yeah, she doesn't do it. So he needed like some spooky songs. Like that guy was talking about. So he told me what he wanted, what he's looking for in the scenes, and then I wrote 3 1.5-minute pieces for those scenes. So that was 4 altogether. So that was good.
I
And
always the creative aspect of that is always interesting to me because as I was talking to the other, I've gotten that if you
mhm,
heard any of that at all. But how do you make how do your brain function like that? Yeah, this is a scene and it's gonna be
right.
kind of like dark or whatever. So how do
Mhm.
you translate that into your music? That's always been interesting to me. I mean,
Well,
I can tell you what I want, but I definitely can't do it music wise.
right. Well, I mean, the thing is too is like I mean, you work at Oh, what are we doing here? Okay, we work the like there's different sounds. I have a lot of like arcade and a few other things that like have a ton of different sounds, and I sort of like they tell me what they want. It's sort of dark. Like he wanted this one sort of like tubular bells, so I wrote a song called "The Bells From," and it has like has sort of that kind of thing to it, with other chords. It doesn't sound exactly like it, but it has like the bell sound.
Mm.
He needs something that's a little dark, a little spooky. Then you have those stuff, and sometimes you have like sort of like an atonal chord, and you're like something like if you ever put a scary movie and turn the sound off,
Yep.
it's not half as scary as once you put the sound up, because that music gets that like and it gets creepy and it builds up, and oh, something's gonna jump out any minute. No, no, no! Like right. Turn that music and watch it, and you're like, wow, this movie's not even that scary. What happened? What happened? So the music does really like really push you. And like I think I heard a little bit he was saying, and it's so cool because I mean, when you take a piece of music and put it to a scene, and that enhances that scene, that that you just makes it, just brings it to like another emotional level.
It does. I mean, to me, music is if you don't have music in any scene or whatever, it takes
Right,
away from to me from the acting. Honestly,
right,
I mean, 'cause I think the music adds different elements to the performers, to their performance. So
right.
I love to have great music. I
But
love it.
and then I had like another. This is really funny. I had a song in a show from 1998.
Oh,
And yeah, and they redid it. So they sent me, Warner Brothers, hey, can we send you this check? And I went, how much? I said, yeah, it was a nice check. So, so I got a check from Warner Bros. This year, and yeah,
well, congrats on
mhm.
that.
And then I'm working with Missy Balsam. We did two like a chant thing they did. She does this, where she does her yoga thing, and then I do Nomical Embrace a Day, which that's going to come out like in about another couple weeks. And then we have another one called Blind Spot, which I'm going to do because I'm going to Europe, leaving on March 25th and coming back June 3rd.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
Okay,
Yes.
so you and your wife is there. You guys are going. I take it.
Well, we yeah, we're both, this is a vacation. I didn't book any gigs. I just said, let's just do vacation. It's just you and me. But my grandson's here, so he's gonna come in the last 3 weeks, and then we're gonna show him because he's never been to Europe. He's coming with us, and at the end. But
Oh my God, I want to
this
be able to vacation for what, like 3 months? Seriously, Tim?
yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is, we got it down to pretty much of a science. This is the fourth time over. And what we do, when we want to see a certain city or something, we find a place that's like outside of it, but has public trans. So
Okay.
instead of paying like $200 to be next to it, I'll pay $50 and take a $3 bus ride. You know what I mean?
I love
And
it. I
yeah,
love it.
so like last time we went over 70 days, and I think it cost about 14 grand, about $200 a day, which is like, and we have, we have money in the bank. When I was a paramedic, okay, a year before I retired, they had a thing in the paper, and they said, who made the most overtime out of 8,000 people?
Uh-huh.
Can you imagine who that was?
That had to have been you.
It was me. Yes, I was notorious but so what I did, it helped me in my retirement. So with a auto retirement system, what you can do is you have a calculator. So if you get to a certain number at the level, you'll know what you're going to take in every month. So I just told Carol, I said, honey, I said, I'm gonna like hard time this now for the next 10 years.
Oh
But,
wow,
but when we retire, we're gonna be able to retire. You know what I mean?
that is
So
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 awesome.
yeah, so but it worked out good. And now it's like, it's like weird. We have money. We have money in the bank. Not rich, you know what I mean? Just but like we make more money every month than we need. It's a good place to be. So, when things happen, it's like it's not we're like, oh my God. It's
I
like,
mean, but but that just goes to show, you know what, you make your mind up to do something. 10 years of hard work, overtime, and then we're gonna be able to retire, go on
right,
vacation for 3 months. That
right.
is that's amazing.
That's it. Well, and my wife's really good with money too. Very frugal. We've got her down to everything we only owe like on the usual stuff and one credit card that we pay off every month. So that's it. And we've done that. So
That's
now,
discipline. That's discipline.
but it took a while. You know what I mean? Yeah. And but now it's like nice. So like, it's very, we had like something happen, and it was like $5,500, and that we have an emergency fund that we keep in the bank that just for that kind of stuff, and we had the money and we did it, so it was good.
See, these are life lessons. That's why I like talking to Tim, because you always get life lessons when he comes on, and I love that he inspires me to, like, because I'm horrible at saving. I'm gonna be honest. I'm horrible at saving.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I mean, I think right now too, like, people like my daughters, like I'm getting them to like, get your retirement in order because, like my mother-in-law is behind us, and luckily how it worked out, like what happened, she got some money from an accident, she wanted to go by herself. It was a little chunk of change, not giant, but like, and so I said, well, Mom, why don't we do this? She gave us 42,000, but I built her own house behind ours.
Oh
So,
wow.
and then I pay all her bills till she dies. I didn't know she was going to live to 93 though. Okay. And she's still going. Hey.
That's good for you, because that means mom's got longevity. That means you got longevity.
Yeah. So that's my wife's mom. But my parents, my dad lived till he's 95. My mom 90. All his brothers lived to 90. So yeah, I'm
Okay,
pretty
so
good.
you guys got
Yeah,
longevity on your
I go to
team.
the gym every day. I'm that kind of stuff. I keep healthy. I'm in good shape. I take all kinds of vitamins and neuro stuff. And the thing is, I got music. I got a new computer. That was cool. I got a Mac Mini. So funny if I showed it to you. The
Oh,
computer. The computer's about this big, right?
look at
It's got the Pro Chip 4 with a terabyte and 48 megs of RAM. It's like a little monster. And
Okay,
it's
show it to me, Tim. I got to see. Show it to me.
let me see if I show you. See that little thing? That's it.
That's tiny. It looks like a
Yeah,
it's like some kind of
like
drive or
like
something.
a modem or something, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's the computer. It's like what? Like I got it. I was like cracked me out. I was like, oh my god. But the new what a lot of computers they have different little things like it goes to this, to this, to this, and that, and then it gets through. What Apple did is they made one chip, and all that stuff is in one chip. So it's like zip. And when you get one, compared to what your old computer is, like your old computer is like dial up. It's like this is like yeah, So I mean, I have an old Franken Mac that I was using, but what happened was I was getting some new plugins that like this one Unfair Child and this one called the God Particle and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And if I used it on too many tracks when I wanted to, it would bog my computer down. I couldn't handle it.
Oh,
This one, this little guy here, they put 1,000 tracks just to see if they could bog it down, and 1,000 tracks and it still worked. A
wow,
thousand, a thousand. Yeah. So I mean, it's amazing, So it's like, and my friend, it was funny. My wife got it for my anniversary, and my friend Chaz Sanford was like a huge, he's hitting huge songs. I mean,
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Missing You for John Waite, Stevie Nicks, all kinds of stuff, and nicest guy. And so we're good friends. And my wife called him. She goes, "Well, what's does Tim need in it?" Well, he's the wrong guy to ask because he's going to have you're going to have the biggest and the best. That's the only way it's going to be. So she thought she was going to get away with so much money, but it wasn't that expensive, but it was, a little pricey. But the thing is, yeah, it cost her about 1,000 more than she thought she was going to pay. But, the thing is like, listen, I'm 70 years old. You know what I mean? Right.
And you look good. I can't believe your age. You look really good.
Well, yeah, it's funny. People always say like, man, you're sort of, what, you're 70? What? Like, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I go to the gym and I see these guys at their 60s and they're like, eh. I'm like, how old are you? I'm 10 years older than you. You look 10 years older than me. So, so, no, I mean, I've been good. We got all our teeth fixed in Costa Rica. Went down there. If you have any teeth,
I remember you telling me that. Uh-huh.
yeah, and it worked great. So I'm all done. I got, so nice, bright, shiny teeth. I hardly have any real ones left, but they're all solid and they don't move. They don't come out. They're like permanent. So it's like,
I
yeah,
love that. I love that.
I love that too. I mean, people forget nice teeth. It's important to your look. I mean,
It really is. I know because when I have to go to the dentist, I hate going to the dentist. And it's like
yeah,
I love my smile to look a certain way, and
yep.
it's not perfect right now. But I I have to go have some work done on it. But
Well,
I love the way it
I
looks.
will tell you. I'll tell you. Like they have, they call all in four, right? Where they take all your teeth out, and then they put four implants in, and it's a permanent denture. It don't come out,
Right.
and it's great. My
Yeah.
daughter has one.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's what
So
I like. Yes. I know. I know what you're talking about. 'Cause, yeah. I
and
don't want the things. Yeah. I don't want that coming out. I just want the permanent in there.
yeah, it's permanent. Yeah, and then now they have one down in Costa Rica. You can get it for like $3,000, and I think it's like they have two, and it clicks in. So when you put your dent, they click in. They don't come out. Till you take them out.
Uh huh.
But then what you do is you do that, and then you come back and have two more put in and get the permanent ones in. And I think it's about 6-7 grand for them versus 15-20 grand here.
I was gonna say yeah. I was gonna say it was about 11, 12 grand here. But yeah, you're right. It's about 15 somewhere up in there.
Yeah, and it
It's
depends, what I mean. But it was funny because like I mean, they're so nice, these people. Like, we hugged us after we left. They bought us lunch. Hey, we're going for lunch. Come on, let's go. And they bought us lunch. I mean, just it's different. It was like in this little mall they're in, like a strip mall down there. They have my iPhone. I couldn't charge it. It wasn't charging. It was something. So there's a guy there that fixes iPhones. So I said, hey, can you fix it? He goes, yeah, I'll fix that you. So I just gave it to him. They walked away. My wife goes, did you get a receipt? No, he'll be all right. Are you sure? Like, yeah, don't worry about it. And of course, just like I said, he's fine. Came in, It's been working great ever since. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's a different thing. It's just, like down there, they don't throw stuff away. They use it, to the end. And but it's just an I don't know. I really love traveling. You know what I mean? And the people you meet and the food. You know what I mean? I mean, oh, French.
And
Oh, girl,
I gotta go a little heavy on you right now.
go ahead.
So as you see in our country, the,
Yeah.
the the turmoil that we're in, how are you dealing with all of that? With everything you see us we're going through right now?
Well, the sad thing I hate, okay, is this Christian white nationalists that are using religion as a weapon. It
Yeah.
pisses me off, because that ain't Jesus. Plus, I'm from New York. I know about Trump. I know people that work with Trump. My father was one that had to deal with them because of unions. Okay.
Hmm.
So I know about this man.
Hmm.
He's not a nice guy.
Hmm.
He doesn't read. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Can't read. Barely, the thing is, he's a good marketer. That's what he is. And that's what he
Yeah.
does. But he's such a grifter. And then let's see. Hey, can we get the guy for the health that was a 14 years of heroin addict, had worms in his brain, and thinks that he's going to be the one health and human services, or the Secretary of Defense? What is your thing? Well, I was in the National Guard and years ago, and then I was on a Fox News host. Well, that makes you qualified to be the secretary. What?
We're right.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's look at just because you're in the army doesn't make you qualified. That's like a multi-billion-dollar thing with you got people's lives. I mean, decisions that you make, you can't do that. You can't have these people on here. I mean, just the people he's got, and who's the other? Oh, the other that see the thing for me is and this whole thing about putting the tariffs on everybody, like tariffs are good. The whole thing is going to make the gas cheaper. He's not. He's going to make food cheaper. He's
But,
not.
but what you said is that he is the ultimate con man.
He's a commie. He's a marketer.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I don't even call him a marketer. He's like he's just a con.
He's a
He's
grifter.
lied his entire life, so he believes his own con.
You-
I
you-
said the best way to be a good con is to believe your own con.
well, the thing is for me is like see, I think what's good for the people, all right? Like the Republicans, they're putting a thing is they want to tax somebody's college scholarship. I go, what? You you're telling me a kid busts his ass either like in sports or school to
Uh-huh.
get a scholarship, and now you want to tax it? But I want to give a billionaire a tax break? I want to take away the thing of the $35 insulin, but I'm going to give the billionaire a tax break. I'm sorry. If a billionaire has to pay 20% and he has to pay $200 million, he still has 800 million left.
Yeah,
He ain't
correct.
he ain't exactly poor. You know what I
Right,
mean? So I'm
right,
sorry. You know
right.
what I mean? And I don't mind paying taxes. I have to pay taxes because guess what? I want roads. I want an army. I want an air force. I want all these things. I want air traffic controller. That whole mess up
all,
there.
all, all we ask is that pay your fair share, right? If
Pay
you're a
your fair
billionaire,
share.
if
Exactly.
you're a billionaire, then you pay your share. Well, like you said, you're going to have a substantial amount of money left. I mean, this is what the argument I say. My husband passed away, and here
I
I pay
remember.
taxes. He paid taxes, but you
Right.
know what? Because he left Owen a little bit of taxes, they literally chased him man to the grave. I literally had to come out of my pocket,
Right.
okay, and pay what he left. So you mean to tell me that you're a billionaire and you don't want to pay your fair share?
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
have zero respect for that. I have no respect for that. You're
I don't
selfish,
either.
greedy.
And the thing is, like when it really comes down to, they're really about corporate people, and they don't care about people. You know what I mean? And that I don't care what anybody says because I mean, like I always tell you, when is the economy the best? When Democrats. I mean, Joe Biden, they Bidenomics. Like when he took the stock market Dow, it was 20, and when he
Yes,
left, it was 42. He
yes,
doubled it.
yes,
7 million jobs,
yes,
unemployment down, infrastructure going, all
yep.
these things moving. And then it's so and then and this whole thing about this whole it was rigged. That whole lie. That thing they had of 2,000 mules. Remember that? Yeah, that movie. You see that? The guy that made it lied, right? He admitted that he made it up. What? The guy about the Burisma thing with Joe Biden and his son over there?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Right,
Yeah,
right,
he
right.
got arrested
He did.
because
He
he
did.
made it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
he did.
mean, so and that guy, like that one guy that I think that somebody should punch him in the mouth. As Jesse Walters on Fox News. He goes, at one time, he goes, and he went shopping with his wife. What kind of man goes grocery
Oh my
shopping with his
God, I
wife?
can't believe you. I talked about that on the show a couple weeks ago. I was like, what kind of asshole? Speaking of my friend said, you don't want to go shopping with your wife.
Look, dude, I love food shopping for my wife. Because if I don't go, I'm not going to get what I want. So I ain't no fool.
I read that and I was like, my husband would always follow us around with the cart in the store. So
Yeah, it was
I
like,
don't know what kind of nonsense that was.
yeah, I was like, he just says some stuff like, he thinks he's manly. His mom even hates him. His mom says, "Oh, you're an
Oh my God.
embarrassment." You know what I mean? Your mother's like, and your mother doesn't like you. It's like, okay, but he just says stuff comes out of his mouth. It's like he thinks, oh, if you're a Republican, the women want like real men, like Republicans. Are like, what?
What?
Real man, dude? You're not a real man. I don't care.
If their definition of a real man is not having a spine and opening your mouth, then go for it. Because that's not a real man to me. I want a man who has an opinion, has a spine, can stand up and say, "Oh, you're wrong" in doing that.
That's right. I mean, I just like, I don't know. But the thing is, I'm worried about our country because it's gonna if it turns like, I mean, who's this guy Elon Musk going in and finding out, getting all our stuff on Social Security and all our.
You know what? That infuriates me. This is what I did today. After I read that over the weekend,
That's
and
illegal.
I literally called the White House today.
Yeah, I mean,
I did. I said there was someone put up a number and they said, well, you can call your representative, whatever. And so I said, let me see if this number is really legit. I called the number and it says, you've reached the White House. I was like, oh, okay. So then it said, do you know your representative? And I said, I sure do. And I gave the name and they connected me. And
right.
I said, they connected me, and I want everyone to do that. Well, whoever your representative is, you let
Yeah.
them know that you're not happy with Elon Musk. So I said, we have to realize that as Americans, we have the power, and we empower these people to go and represent us. So we need to open up our mouths and say, I'm not happy with this. So everybody I put on my social media, just find the number I put up there and just call whoever your representative is. They will connect you to the office, and they'll ask you for your name and all this other stuff. That's fine.
I mean, these guys are like saying, like, oh, what's it? Okay, Mississippi. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep as clean as I can.
Okay.
But they think, in the abortion issue.
Uh-huh.
Okay, life starts at the erection.
Okay.
Do you hear what I said?
Uh-huh. That's what. Uh-huh.
And so, like, if you don't place that thing in the proper place, it's $1,000 fine.
What?
Yeah. That's what they're trying to put you. I'm like,
what? What?
Yeah, you got look it up, man. You got to go like, what did they? Who are these people,
What?
man? Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'm trying to process after you said. I'm like, what?
I know. That's what I said when I heard it, and I heard it from many sources, and we looked it up. And he goes, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that like your sperm is alive, and so you can't kill it. It's unbelievable. So I mean, this is the crazy ultra right, but what's going to happen? Like this always happens. It goes so far, like so far to the left, and then it's going to go so far to the right, and then you're going to go like, okay, wait a minute, man. Now you're in my bedroom. Get the hell out. I'm sorry. You have no business showing me what I can do with my body with the person I love.
But that's what unnerves me the most is the fact that you say, it'll go so far and then it'll come back. But to me, it's going further than it's ever gone before because the whole Elon Musk thing, that infuriates me. Because I'm like, first of all, and I'm not trying to, Lord knows I'm not trying to say that, but you know how South Africans are treated in Africa. And you're this South African now immigrant
right.
in the United States. And you have an access to our personal data. Who the hell are you? And
exactly.
You're not even a smart guy. He's just like Trump. He's a con. He stole the people who are working on electric cars. He stole their idea. He stole their work and put his name on it. He's never created anything on his own. He's just like a clown like Trump is.
Yeah, and he's got like he's put like a building a commune for his baby mamas and his 11 kids, and it's just that's sort of like that. It creeps me out. It just the whole thing is like, dude.
It's like Republican, Democrat, whatever. But the Republicans, I mean, why do you just you know who Donald Trump is? They know who he is. Why are you allowing him to do these things and you know that they're wrong?
Yeah, I mean,
That's my whole point. That's
well,
why we have the different branches of government is to keep it's
well,
like checks and balances.
I love the way they spin it. Well, if I have to pay for more groceries, I guess that's going to have to be, you know what I mean? But it'll be better in the end. That's not what he said. He said, I'm going to lower the price of eggs. I'm going to lower groceries. I'm going to lower this. I'm going to stop the Ukraine war. And what I told people, number one, this guy, he said 99% of the shit that he says, he doesn't do, you know? And
Yep.
this, even the stuff like with the thing with Mexico and Canada, which he had to rescind, because I'm sure
Right.
Trojo, it's like, like people go like, oh, like they talk about, we're going to drill. We already are drilling. We drill more oil than anybody in the world right now. We're doing 13.5 million barrels a day. No one's doing that but us.
Wow.
Okay. So people like to, well, yeah. But the thing is, and then people like, well, they didn't get the pipeline from Canada. We get 4.3 million barrels of gallons from Canada a day. We have pipelines that do 800,000. They have more than that one pipeline that they stopped that was going through the Indian reservation that are working. And the reason why Canada wanted to put that pipeline is because they're sort of landlocked. So they want to sell their oil. Now, the reason why they sell it cheap to us, like around 65, 68 around a barrel, because they can't do it. But if they get it out to a Gulf, what is it? Then they can sell it and they'll pay more money for it. So, I mean, people have to, there's a guy named, if you go on TikTok, guy named Mr. Global, okay? He's real, he's in the oil business. He's super smart. He tells it like it is. He's not like Republican. He's an oil guy. And so my friend started talking to me. I go, dude, you have no idea. Well, I mean, do you know what sweet crude is and Brent crude is? Crude? No. Well, maybe you should learn this because our oil is sweet crude. It's like the best oil, right? But
sweet crude.
Sweet crude. That's the good stuff. That's the best stuff. But some of our refineries only refine Brent crude, which is more like like stuff the tar stuff. So the thing is, so why do we sell our oil and then bring this in? Because that refinery only does that kind of oil. So they can't do sweet crude. There's ones that do sweet, but who owns the refinery in Texas is the Arabs.
Oh.
Who owns like 300?
Okay, so I got a question. Since you know about the oil thing, now back in the day, we used to just have oil in our own country. When did we start having to go out to other countries to bring in oil?
Well, OPEC started, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of times, like, you got to remember, like, I think the problem is that we want to separate ourselves all the time, right? We want to, like, just us and, but we're on this floating planet going 100 miles an hour. You know what I mean? That we're really all one. And we got to start thinking about it. We waste so much time with this hate and ignorance and war and greed and power for what? You know what I mean? Because if we can imagine if there was no war and all we had to do is just put that money into science and I mean, there's no reason anybody should starve in this world.
There's no reason in the world that your child will ever go hungry.
We throw away so much food.
Yes, we do.
We waste so much.
Yep.
So the thing is, like, we got to get this out of our head that we're like, listen, we're all one. You know what I mean? So, and if we do, like, I mean, I know Trump, talked to OPEC and he wanted them to, like, increase and they go, no. And what they don't know is because if it gets too cheap, the oil company, they lose a lot of people. When that went down during COVID and stuff, like 50,000 more people lost their jobs, right?
Yeah.
And if the refiner loses their job, that means the restaurants that do it and all the places that service those, and it goes on and on and on. You know what I mean? So it could be 500,000 people lose their job. So the thing is, they're not going to go. And if it gets real cheap, they're not going to be looking to drill because it ain't worth it. You know what I mean? Because it has to be a certain price where they can. We're gonna sit there and pay like those millions and millions of dollars to locate a drill, you know, and go down the feet and get it all working. If it's, well, let's see, once we get an account, oh no, we're not doing it. And they just cap it, you know, or they won't do it. So they got to keep that price at a certain spot. And we don't, and the president has no, doesn't do anything about the price of oil. Out of the 13 million barrels that we get a day, 9 million go to the country and the 4 million get exported.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
yeah, because the oil companies are a business. They sell the oil, you know. So, I mean, so the thing, right. So, and then the thing, like, you know, I say, well, like, remember that time Joe Biden, you know, opened the reserves up, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Well, do you remember what happened? That like he sold it for $100 a barrel, and then basically when he redid it and for 75 barrel, so he got extra money, and he put that back into the country. People don't know that they oh he did yeah
What what
yeah
what 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 I find disheartening is how some people always want to change the narrative about how things really are, and you think that we're foolish enough to really believe that. That's insulting to me, and I think the Republicans do that a lot.
well
They always want to change the narrative so that they look better and the other party looks bad. But here's the thing: the Republicans have never budgeted passed a decent budget in the United States. They've never done it. Any Republican Party, they go way way back. It's always been the Democrats who've put us on the right track.
exactly
Always. My fear is that Trump is going to go so far is that we're going to be so far that it's just going to be mind boggling to me.
well, I mean, and people are like, he's trying to spin it like, well, maybe we all got to suffer a little bit. Are the billionaires going to suffer?
That's what I said.
No, the
Yeah.
poor, and you're going to take away like the thing that's like food stamps, you know. But see, the thing, like my mother-in-law, okay, now she is like the poster child for Democratic liberal. She gets food stamps. She gets something for Humana, $200 a month. She's a vet. She's a vet.
Uh-huh.
She's a Marine. She
Uh-huh.
gets Medicare, Medicaid.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean, and Social Security.
Uh-huh.
So I said, well, Mom, you might take your food stamps. Well, I can't do anything about it. I still vote for him. It's insane. So you're going to watch this guy take away your food money. And I said, but because she doesn't really care. She has, you know, because in her situation, she has no bills except for food.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So,
Uh-huh.
but I said, how about like, you know, all the veterans families that get, how about all the elderly that depend on that Social
Yeah.
Security check? And a bit, because I know, because I was a paramedic, I've been in places where there's dog food in that counter and there's no dog.
Wow.
And there's
Wow.
no dog. You know what I
Wow.
mean? So we, you know, and so an American people that work their whole lives and have nothing to show for it, and now they're eating dog food because they can't afford anything else.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
come on. I mean,
Yeah.
don't, you know, and there's no reason for that. And so I think is like, you know, you're right. Everyone pays their share, whatever it is, you know, I don't care, but you know, we all pay it and comes in. Now, the thing is there is waste. Okay. Like, you know, like, well, you know, the stuff with boost, dude, it's rare. Okay. There is people that take advantage of, you know, because they always want
That's
to make
true.
that, you
That
know,
is a true statement. Yep. Yep.
immigration, like immigrant crime. That's all bullshit. You know what I mean? Excuse my French, but it is. You know what I mean? Because listen, I'll tell you right now, where I am, when I have anything done in my house, it's a Latino doing it. You know why? Because I hate to say this, but man, every time I have somebody that's not a Latino, I'll keep it that way. All right. It's a nightmare. They don't show up. They don't have the tools. It's 3 times the price.
Tim,
They,
you speak to the choir. I said this. There are only certain people that I will hire, and people can say I'm being racist. There are only certain people I will hire because I know it's going to get done.
that's it. And I tell these
That's just a fact.
all every time I have a worker, a Latino worker, they're here. Like I'll be there at 8 o'clock. Guess what? 8 o'clock. Oh, you're there.
Uh-huh.
This is what the job is. They do it. It does great. It looks
Uh-huh.
great. It's finished. They did a great job. They're like proud about their work. So the thing is with me, like they have all these ICE guys that go, yeah, we're looking for all these people, you know, these criminals. Why are you going to the factories? These are the workers. Why are you going to the factories? I mean, like this one at a meat plant and had like 400 workers. Well, we deported them and the plant closed. These are working people that are slaughtering meat so we can have bacon. All right.
But you
So
know what? But you know what? The biggest BS that he has sold, and I find it rather amusing. I know it's not for other people, but when you talk about ICE, he was going to round up all these millions of people, right? How
yeah.
many to date? What has it been like 2,000?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, the real that is that's the thing is like I tell you, like he's a full of shit too.
Yeah.
Guy never does what he says he's gonna do. I mean, that's the bottom line. He just you
Yep.
can say I have friends that are like, look, I have friends that are Trump supporters. We're still friends, but we get into some stuff, man. I said you better have your shit together because when you come in with some of his stuff, he tries to spin it. I'm gonna spit it right back in your face. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Because
Uh-huh.
I pay attention, and I say I'm a numbers person. I'm a
Yeah.
numbers person. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So don't tell me about buying it. Like I had somebody go like, yeah, look, my stock's going bad because Bidenomics. I go, I don't know what you're doing, but he doubled the stock market. So what stocks do you have? You got the wrong stocks, girl.
Uh-huh.
But I know her because she's a bigot. You know what I mean? And she's someone I used to work with.
Uh-huh.
She always had this bad attitude, and I knew it right from the start.
Uh-huh.
And we never, we talk, but it's like it's because of the profession. I mean, but I never really respected her. She was just like she just I don't like people that are mad and angry and you know, I, don't like because of the color of skin. You know what I mean? It pisses me off. It
Yeah.
bothers me, and because I'm never that way. I mean, I grew up in a town called Englewood, and right, which was probably a huge percentage of blacks. Right,
Uh-huh.
we moved to this town in Norwood, right, which I had one black kid in my high school. One, his name was Ricky White. I swear to God. Right? And when I got up there, because I had sort of accent, because I had a lot of black friends,
Uh-huh.
and they were like, this guy like, man, what's wrong with you, man? Wait, you trying to be? I don't know. I'm just talking. No, you're not. And I had to like do slap fights and all this stuff, and like get my you had to
Uh-huh.
find where you're like you can beat these guys up, but you can't beat these guys up. Okay, you're good here.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, this is back then. Um, I will say that like I mean, and my parents are good with that. I will say, and this kid Pierre, like he used to come to my house, and he was black, and we had like a lot of, and he would slip over his house, and I'd be over there. And then one time it was so funny. I don't know how it happened. We used to have a coffee house, and these six Puerto Rican kids came like from the ghettos, came to Jersey when
Uh-huh.
they were there, like so I
Uh-huh.
needed a place to stay, so they stayed at my house. My mom opens the door and just like six guys on the floor with, like, it's like what? So, but I went into the South Bronx with them and stayed there for a weekend, and it was quite an eye opener. I did fall in love with the girl. It's a girl that was like, of course, I never saw her again, but like for that weekend, and she was the most beautiful Latino girl I ever saw. It's like I was smitten. But so we're up there in the room, and it was like a block party, and all of a sudden this guy drives his car. I know I almost hit somebody. So like this whole family, they're fighting and stuff. I go, oh my god, here it comes, man! It's like, and there's baseball bats and so I'm glad I was inside, but but and I used to work when I was 17. I used to deliver lunches to the South Bronx kids during the summer. I worked in a truck. We used to have a thing where they had a lunch program because they were in school, so where they get their lunches. So they had different like places like churches and like YMCA's kind of that kind of stuff, and I would bring the truck in. So there was a group called the Black Pearls. They were like a gang, and so
Okay.
I said now this is what I need you to do because I'm a stupid little white kid from New Jersey. I'm in South Bronx, so I know fool. So I said, I tell you what, I get these boxes. They have 24 lunches in them. I'm gonna take an extra one every day. And every day, you guys, they just don't. I just want people to mess with me. Be good. We're good. And no one ever messed with me. So,
You learned at an early age.
oh, I learned the early. Yes, I did. You know what I mean? So I mean, yeah, I'm. For me, it's like I love people. I love cultures. I love meeting people. I was on a merchant marine 19 to 21. I used to go and I was in like
Yep.
Sudan and Djibouti and Sudan, Mogadiscio, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. I mean, all those, Iran. I was in Iran. I was some Navy guy goes, hey man, you want to smoke a joint? And I go, I don't know. What's the penalty? It's a death penalty. No, no, I'm not smoking a joint. It's a death penalty. You stupid. Like, I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna have a beer again. Well, oh my god. So I mean,
I think the best way you can raise your kid is to have them around multiple cultures.
yes. Well,
I don't think you should raise a kid all black area, all white area. I just think it should be diverse.
And and the little kids don't know that they
They
don't
don't. Yeah, they don't know that.
they
You're right.
don't
They're taught that.
that's
They're
taught,
taught
it's
certain
taught
behaviors. Right.
exactly, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I'll say about my mother-in-law, being as Republican, she's very nice, that she's had very good, she don't have that prejudice, she doesn't. I mean, I remember one time she was driving and there was an older black guy carrying his groceries in a bag. She pulled over and said, listen, got him in the car and took him and drove him home. I thought that was cool. You know what I
See,
mean?
I don't even say that just because you're a Republican that you're a bad person. I think what makes you
I
still
do.
a
No.
bad person. No, you don't. I think what makes you a bad person. Well, not now. Not well. These now. I don't know. But I just think it doesn't make you a bad person. I think you have differences in the way that you see how government should run, and
Yeah,
that's okay. But when you go so far as to embrace someone like Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all that, I honestly I can't be your friend. You're a better person than I am because I can't sit there and listen
yeah.
to you try and make an
Well,
excuse for someone's bad behavior. I'm
I
not
mean,
that person.
I guess guys like, well, I don't want to be socialist. I go, I don't want to be like Venezuela. I go, Venezuela is, dude, it's a garbage pail right now. I mean, it's so mixed up. But I said, why do you say? Do you know anybody in Denmark? Because I have friends in Denmark. I stay at their house. Okay, you know what happens if they get sick? Yeah, it's $100. That's it, or 100 crowns. That's it. No matter what happens. You know what they do when they go to college? It's free. Not only free, they pay you while you go, so you can concentrate on your studies.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, then like my friend, I guess her friend, he was in France. He was there for a month, and he got sick, and so he did all these tests. They had to give him blood work and CAT scan, all this stuff. So he walks out of the hospital, didn't pay anything, and then about a month later, the bill came in. You know what the bill was? $350.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know what would have been here? That would have been like 20 grand.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And why is Marx, so that's because, and then like they're saying like, well, the corrupt thing. There's 6 lobbyists on the cabinet, Trump's cabinet. Lobbyists. Now that these are the so he has his people thinking he's gonna drain the swamp. Dude, he is the swamp. He's the swamp creature. I mean, he's got the worst people, the most like Stephen Miller. That guy, he's a Nazi for sure. That Stephen Miller guy, guys, the little guy, little squirrely guy, he's got a bald head. He's like
I
he's
don't know who he. I gotta look and see who he is.
oh, listen to that guy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and then like I mean, when you say like those guys in Charlotte, the when they had the statue was coming down. No, what everyone always says is those guys weren't from the town. The town people voted on it, and they took this thing down. Doesn't with that. So these guys march in. Well, there's good people too on both sides.
I
No,
hate that. That is the worst.
if you're a Nazi, you're not a good person.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? I mean, and they have these guys in Nashville do it. If you really believe in it, why are you covering up your face?
Valid point.
You got a point. Exactly. Why? Because you know it's wrong. You know it's bad, and you know it's what. And somebody finds out you're it, it's going to be your ass. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. So love is the answer, man. Love will trump hate any day. Hate never fixed anything.
It never has.
Never has. You know what I mean?
I say I don't. Well, Trump is one of you. You almost say there's hate there. I mean, I don't like to say that, but he's such a disgusting person that you said. I've never said that there's not one redeemable quality that I see in him. There's nothing redeemable about him. There's nothing.
I mean, the thing is, like, I mean, these people like don't know how many people he ruined. Like when he did the Trump casino, and a guy did all that work and then didn't pay for it, and he go, "Well, screw you, sue me." Well, of course, he has a million lawyers, so the guy went out of business, lost his house, lost everything. I mean, my wife's friend was a waitress up in that casino back then. She waited on him 40, 50 times. He never tipped her. You should be honored that you're serving Donald Trump.
Oh wow, is that how he feels?
Yeah, I mean that's but what somebody should have done is kicked him in the balls. You know what I mean? Hard.
They can't find them. They couldn't find them. They're not there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah. The little orange mushroom as now small hands.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that Stormy man put it down like that. That was when she said that. I just there was so many funny jokes on that. Oh, the memes were one. Yeah, but the thing is like, listen, I don't hate anybody. I can't hate them from Lebanon. I really just don't get how they've been indoctrinated. You know what I mean? It's almost like, and they believe this stuff. I mean, my mother-in-law watches Fox News every day.
Stop
So,
it.
so she hates Obama. I go, why do you hate Obama? Oh, he's the worst president ever. I don't know. I mean, George Bush was pretty bad. I mean, I like George. He was a nice guy, but he was a shitty ass president. You know what I mean?
George
And
George Jr. was not a smart guy. Not a smart guy at all.
no, I think Cheney was basically like had him on a leash, and just said do this, do that, and but like that whole thing going into Iraq, he shouldn't have done that.
Nope, shouldn't
There
have
was
done that.
no
No weapons of mass destruction. Remember that
the
crap?
one we never found,
Yeah.
right? Some guys, oh, we found no, you didn't have it. And the other thing was like because when we went in there, we were like, we'll never found him. You don't think that we had people in there quicker than that? You don't think that the Mossad and the Israeli knew if shit
Mhm.
happened? Because they know everything.
Everything. Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
that's that whole thing about when those guys came over to Israel and killed those kids, which was awful, and all that stuff. How'd they do that? How did those guys? They came in over an ultralight, like flying things, right? It's not like you snuck under the fence. You had to start them up. You had to fly them over stuff to get there.
Hmm. Hmm.
How they? You're talking about the Iron Dome. You're talking about like the best. I I don't put it past Netanyahu, and maybe I'm totally wrong, and I don't want to offend any of my Jewish friends,
Uh-huh.
but I would if I said that guy set that up because they don't like him in Israel. Half of the people think he's corrupt. He is,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
they really do. And sometimes
So,
I hear him say certain things. It's like sometimes I agree with him. Then I'll say, well, maybe that wasn't exactly right.
I mean, so the thing is, here's the thing: the way the Palestinians are treated, over there, right? It's like apartheid. It really is. And the thing is, like and the Zionists have ruined it. See, like Jews and Arabs lived together for a long time, no problem.
Yeah.
But once Zionists came in and pushed away, I mean, they go into like a Palestinian house that there've been 4 generations in, and they just
Mhm.
go, that house doesn't leave the code. So they bulldoze it down and they take it over and build their house and build a house for a Jewish family. They just take their land over. What are you doing? Like, what would you do if somebody came into your house and said, "Well, yeah, just get out. I'm taking your house," and you can know nothing about it. So, and then you have this huge unemployment problem, right? So, how easy is it to radicalize 18-year-old kids with no job and
Right.
seeing that stuff?
Right.
It's easy to, So, and I'm not saying that it's wrong. It is wrong, but the thing is, another thing, the whole world knew it, and the whole world didn't do anything about it.
Mhm.
And they set this situation almost like all the Africans, yeah, the Palestinians, we don't know them, good, yeah, you know. And this, this boiler keg gets going, and people are doing bad stuff, you know. And so and I have Missy's Jewish. I mean, her boyfriend was he was in the Israeli army, and they have a whole different take on it. They give him all this stuff, but they when you're there, like you're Palestinian, you might have water half the day, not the other half. You might have electric some day, that, and
Mhm.
so it's like you know. Uh, it's really and this all this hate, and that's the thing about I don't like about religion. I love God, like I pray all the time. I'm grateful
Right.
every
Right.
day, but I don't like religion because it's separate. People think the whole thing like I'm going to heaven and you're not. That's why we kill like all those American Indians. They're
Mhm.
pagans. They're never
Mhm.
going to heaven. Only us people from Europe, the white people, we're going to heaven. What? No. Those people are probably the most spiritual people in the world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Yeah.
mean, so religion to me is like it's caused more pain, and the whole thing, like the whole thing with they get into reincarnation. That was taken in the Bible by the Romans back then. It was in the Bible. There's the thing when the guy came back from John was the guy from 900 years before.
Mhm.
But what happened is like, well, if I got that, I really can't give you the whole thing of like you're going to die and go to hell. I mean, I don't believe that God has a place. Now, I know some people I think deserve it, but I don't think that God like creates somebody knowing that they're gonna burn for eternity. It's like my child did something wrong, so I'm gonna whip them from the time they're 4 to the 94. What?
Well,
Forever.
but here's the thing. But God gives us free will, though, Tim.
That's true. I know, but
So some people are just going to choose to do wrong and to be wrong.
right.
So do you think they should be rewarded
Well,
after
I don't know.
no, they should.
No,
So what's going to happen to them? You think they're going to go to
uh,
heaven, or where hopefully you and I'll go?
well,
If you Donald Trump, I don't want to see you after I leave this. Look, you got
I'll
to go somewhere else.
Well, I'm gonna say like this: like there's a there's a thing called there's a couple of books that I've been reading, and people go past lives and they go through many of these lives. And the thing is, this is what there's a story this guy tells, and it's just like a made up stuff. But he goes, God says before he came down, this guy said, okay, God says, what do you want to learn this time when you come down back to earth? And he goes, well, I want to learn about forgiveness, and I want to be able to rely on myself. And he goes, okay. Okay, I'm going to make your dad a drunk and a felon. He's going to leave you when you're 4, and you're not going to forgive him until he's 50. And he's like, wow, that really sort of sucks for my dad. And he goes, oh, no, your dad loves you. He knows you want to learn that lesson, so he's going to be that person. So if you take that from here into here, what happens is maybe these people that wronged you, even though they were like in your circle,
Mhm.
maybe that was all set up before we even came down. You're going to be this person because I got to learn a lesson. I got to learn a lesson about forgiveness. I got to learn a lesson about, what I mean, other things, patience. It's like I get behind some like you're in the the 10-item line, and there's like a 90-year-old woman with like 40 things and she's counting change.
Mhm.
And you're like, and
Okay.
so, but basically for me, I just go, thanks God for teaching me patience today. You know what I mean? And I sort of changed things. You know what I mean? I release my pride. I don't care about pride anymore. I mean, like, it's like people like hold on to pride about do things on ego. What does it serve you? It doesn't. You know what I mean? If you have to be like all prideful and bit, then you have a weakness. You have something wrong with you because
I agree with
you
that.
you need to be something that I got. Why don't you just like yourself? Why don't you just enjoy yourself? Like the whole thing is like living in the now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you're like, oh, my past. Well, yeah, but it's past and it ain't never gonna change.
There you
So
go.
like, so I learned from it. I let it go, and then my future. Well, I'm worried about that. Why are you worried? Stay here right now in the present,
They're right here, right?
in
Yeah.
the now, and be grateful. And and thing is like I've been lucky. I mean, I told you all things that, at times I
Yeah.
should have been busted and arrested and never did, you know, and many times. And when I was young and stupid, but um, I I've had a good life, man. It's like I've done a lot of stuff,
You have. You
you know,
actually have.
and so I'm so grateful. Sometimes I cry, and then I feel humble and almost cry on like how much God loves me,
Mm.
no matter what. And I think, man, as some of the stupid stuff I've done in my life, and you still care about me. It's like I don't know. So it makes you like sort of go, wow, you know. So and I have this one song I wrote. I think it's called Peter knows my name, and it's a song I wrote for the day I die. Of course, my wife hates it when I play it, but it's a really beautiful song. You know what I mean? It says, I'm going to see, I'm going to, it's like, and the whole thing is like at the very end, uh, I'm going to the great beyond to see my friends and family that are gone, but I'm not afraid I'll be okay because Peter knows my name. And that's just based like Peter at the gate. And so I'm not worried about it. And the thing is like, I know, because I've had such strong spiritual experiences that you can't deny there's something after this. You can't deny it. I have seen stuff, and I've witnessed things in my life that are, and like is when this tells the story of one lady, she went, she coded, she was in cardiac arrest and the doctors was working her and So she told the doctors, like, yeah, I saw you working on me. He goes, oh yeah, that's you. No, that's right. He goes, no, that pen you put in your pocket. And then she started telling him all this stuff, and he's like, what? Like,
Wow.
she knew all that. She was above watching them all do it. The
Wow.
soul. Then she went back. So, but I mean, like, me, I told you that, I've had, when I had my son's ashes in the bed,
Hmm.
and I just got him, and I was sitting on the bed, and I was holding the box, and all of a sudden it was like, wham to black, and wham to black. And I'm like, whoa, and it's like, and then my friend who's a medium, she called me like 15 seconds later. She goes, hey, Trevor just showed you the accident. And I said, yeah. I go, because I always thought, like, did you ever feel pain? And he goes, no, Dad, there's no pain, white to black. And then when I saw the van that hit him, it was the one in the vision. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And the flowers one, right? The
Yep.
5 flowers, remember
Yep.
that
Yep.
one?
Yep.
I had and then the other one I had one time, I was with Batasha Desai. We had this whole long thing. It was an old day seminar. And what happened was, so I don't know who this was, but so what we did is we discussed something and then we'd meditate on it. So we took the first thing was, about being divine. The second one, talking about affirmations. They said they're really good, but if you have all this pain and guilt and all this dense negative energy, you can't get that good stuff in. It's just, it's like the cup's 3/4 filled with mud. You're not going to get some fresh water in that thing. So you need to, like, give yourself permission to let it go. Well, this is about a year after my son died, so I had a lot of pain after it. So I wanted, it wasn't good for me, my family, my friends, my workers, anything. It wasn't serving me anything, all this pain. So so we start to meditate. He comes over, puts his hand on my stomach, over my heart, on my head, and then over my heart chakra. When he put his hand there, I wept like the bottom of my soul. Like
Oh.
my son's death. I also had, my brother Kevin, when I was 3.5, I had a 2-year-old brother killed by a
Right.
car.
Right. Right.
So my Kevin and my son and all this stuff, I was like, oh. So he took his hand away. I stopped. He did it again. Same thing. Wept like the bottom of my. I mean, like it. I can't even tell you, Elle. It was like something drawn out of me, that like all the pain of all things in my this out. And then I'm still meditating, and I get a vision. And this is the guy, long black flowing hair, big giant flowing beard,
Uh-huh.
in this jeweled robe, right? And this is a long vision. This isn't like something like 2 minutes, right? And I'm seeing this guy, and I'm saying, I want to release my pain, release my pain. And he's walking over, and you know, in this thing, and he puts his hand out, and I feel it, and my pain was gone.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if that was Jesus, but I think it was Buddha, because a couple months later, we were doing a Buddhist chant, my wife and 2 daughters, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We're doing the thing. He came back. Now, it could have been my son. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, or an angel. I don't know. But I mean, so I've been touched, and I've seen things that, like, and people say, like, you must have been a shaman in your other life. Well, I know all about that. I'm just saying that I have witnessed spiritual things
Uh-huh.
that you cannot deny. You can't deny. So when I know that, I know we're coming back. And the thing is, like, the thing about going to hell and kind of stuff, when your karma's bad. So if you're a bad person, right? And I never forget this thing. It was a Mexican beach horse. We were in Acapulco.
Uh-huh.
This skinny little horse on the beach, and this 350-pound guy on it. And
Oh my God.
I'm going, okay, when you're bad, you're coming back to one of them. And so, so I was like, oh my God. Like, and the other thing I never forget was I think my bay's bad. I had a picture. I don't know what happened to it, but in India, when the drains get clogged up with poop, right?
Mm.
The guy goes in there. All he has on is like a wrap around his private parts, right?
Wow.
Basically, and scooping it up and moving it, and so he's covered in it. And I'm thinking, okay, my day's bad, but it's never, ever, ever gonna be that bad. So thank you God that I grew up here. So yeah, you know what I mean. So I mean, and that's the kind of stuff, like, we don't appreciate, like we have hot water showers, dude. 4 or 5 billion people in the world don't have a hot shower. That's a luxury. I mean, just like that. We go to a grocery store. What do you want to eat? It's all here.
Yeah.
Pick out that food. I got this. I got that. I mean, God, we have it made. We are so spoiled. So the thing is, that's what I think is like, for me, like, like when I see somebody, like on the street begging, I always give him $1. And my grand says, why do you give him $1? What if he's could do drugs? Because that's not the point, son. The point that I've been blessed. You know what I mean? And maybe I can bless somebody else. You
I,
know?
I feel the same way when people say, we talk about this all the time in church. They say, well, people they might be out scamming you. Look at them, they look clean or whatever. That's not for me to judge. You're
Right,
standing out there, you're asking for something. I'm going to give you if I have it and keep it moving. Whatever you're
right.
doing with it is not my concern. I gave it.
Because when you do good things, like I had this one time, I was in a supermarket and this lady had 4 little kids and she bought some groceries and she was about $20 short or more. I'm
Mhm,
like $40 short.
mhm.
Oh, well, so she goes, okay, I'm going to go back to the car and see if I can scrounge up some more change. I'm like, oh my God. So I just paid it. I said, and when she came back, I said, oh, she just made a mistake. You're good. And she knew. I don't want to embarrass in front of her kids. But the people behind us, like me, going like, wow, that was really nice. And they go, yeah, just pay it forward, man. So, I mean, the thing is, see,
That's
and when you
yeah.
do that, now people see that,
Uh-huh.
a random act of kindness,
Yep.
and that random act, you do it once, and then again. And what happens? That goes, somebody else going to do it, somebody else going to do it, somebody else going to do it,
That's
somebody else
it.
going it's going to go around the world.
Yep. Yep.
So, and I truly believe that. So, we got to do more random acts of kindness, caring for each other. Stop saying like we're like all different. We're all one. We're on this one little globe. Stop it. We're all connected.
I think that's what bugs me the most when people say everybody's so divided, and
Yeah.
maybe that could be true to a certain degree, but maybe not. I mean, maybe try speaking to the person that's maybe next to you or standing in line or whatever. You never know because we're all afraid now. I think to reach out and be kind to each other just by saying a basic hello. And
Yeah.
that's
I
me
mean,
all the time. I'm like, well, hello. So now I don't really even want to say it because I don't know what the response I'm going to get from that. Just
yeah.
by saying hi.
My wife, we in Europe, it's that we were like in Marrakesh, it was Ramadan, and she did what we call the smile test. And we walked by and we see women like, and they're like burqa, but sometimes they weren't all the way up, just like up with it. And we'd smile and they smile back. And it was like, yeah, I mean, a smile, I acknowledge you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I acknowledge you as a person. And
Exactly.
I'm a small greeting, I smile. Hi. What does that take? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they're all
Saying
right.
hello to somebody. I
Yep.
mean, I got one of the public guys at the store. He's got some real bad jaw stuff. It's really disfigured and stuff like that. He always wears a mask and stuff. I
Yep.
make sure every time I see him, hello, and how you doing today, and that kind of stuff. Because I know a lot of people avoid him because of his malady. So I mean, that's that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not I'm not
We
saying
can, we,
I made
can,
a
we can do better in this country than we have been. And to me, I said, I don't want to let someone like Trump or his whoever to poison our country completely.
yeah.
We know there's always been racial issues, and it's probably always going to be that way. But it doesn't have to be as polarizing as it is at this moment. We
Well,
can't. We can do better. We
he
can do
he is
better.
he has emboldened the bigots. That's what he's done.
That's what he's done. Yep. That's right.
That's
Yep.
I mean, feel like, oh, they're taking our jobs away. Are you picking tomatoes tomorrow? What I want to see them MAGA people. You get out there and pick them tomatoes, man,
Yep.
because I'm hungry,
Yep.
and it better be the same damn price that I'm paying
Right.
at the store or cheaper. Bitch it. I'd be like, they ain't gonna do it. That's hard ass. And the thing is, like I have one of the guys I worked with, this Ricky. He was a flight medic and stuff. When he was a kid, he was picking tomatoes and strawberries with his dad, going from Florida to North Carolina. And then the kids got educated, and so his sister became a veterinarian. He was a
Uh-huh.
firefighter, paramedic, a flight medic. All his sons now, they're all professionals. That's the American dream. Everyone did it. The Italians did it. The Irish, Polish did it. All of us. We came over. Everyone like hated us because we hate. Don't there's all kind of things. Don't hire the Irish. Blah blah blah. Right. And the reason why they're all cops because we spoke English. That was how we got it. No one's putting the Italians. Don't fight them. And then so the thing is, we all been through that. You know what I mean? I mean, so the immigrant thing is like, we're all immigrants unless you're American Indian. Like,
That's what I said too. That's what I said. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, I think we have to like speak out and like be kind. And kindness is not a weakness. People like kindness is not a weakness. People like think, oh, you're like, oh, you're liberal kindness, like DEI.
I think when you're mean and you're nasty, you're a bully. I think that's you're weak. I think that
You're
makes you weak.
exactly because you're afraid.
Yeah, exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
people like the other grandparents. They're like, oh, don't go to Europe, man, because they hate us Americans. I go, no, they don't. They hate asshole Americans. They don't like Americans. Because I've been over there like 3 times. I've been all over the world. I said, they don't hate us. They really don't. It's just like, you just be nice, be kind, learn a few words. You know what I mean? If you're in Portugal, learn how to say thank you. Obrigada. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Merci in France. Gracias in Spain. I mean, like, come on, it's easy. Smile, be nice, be calm. You know what I mean? I mean,
I always say when you travel abroad, I said learn at least learn some of the culture, or be aware of the culture that you're in. You know,
yeah,
we're Americans, but respect their culture is
yeah.
what
I
I.
mean, we when we were in Marrakesh, it was Ramadan, and they don't eat during the day, right, till the sunset. So we told the guys, said, listen, we told the guys, if there's, we'll respect your culture. We can't eat, we just won't eat. We'll just do it in dinner, it's fine. But if you know a place, he goes, but I do know a place for Westerners. Oh yeah, sweet. So we go down all these back alleys, and he gets these little doors, opens it up, and it's beautiful little courtyard with 2 orange trees in it with oranges on them, right? And it's tangine chicken and falafels and all this. Yeah, so good, you know. In the evening, we went to the evening. We had a restaurant, and it was like this uh, lamb in these tangine dishes with all these like plums and almonds and all these delicious spices. Oh my god, it was so delish, right? But the cool thing is, when it goes in, the whole city of Marrakesh prays. The whole city prays. I have it. I put on my phone. They're all praying and chanting, and for peace, world peace. And when a whole city prays,
That
if that
sounds
is
amazing. That sounds
that,
amazing.
it's strong. That says something. I was like, wow. So I mean, it's like if you want, I mean, I don't like the way that some of these cultures treat women because I have 5 sisters. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, like 40-year-old guy marries an 11-year-old girl.
Yeah,
Because the
no.
parents, that kind of stuff is
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? That's just brutal. But at the same time, but I don't. But the thing is also too, like I have a lot of Muslim friends that are really peaceful. Like that thing on my face, like this one goes, be the feather on the breath of God.
Uh-huh.
That tattoo.
Yeah.
That's a Sufi, which is a Muslim sect, but they're all about peace and love. And I thought that was the most beautiful thing. Be the feather on the breath of God. Just sort of let go. You know what I mean? And and you be let them control. And so what I do is, I do my affirmations, and I try to act grateful as much as I can. Not every once in a while, I get a little impatient on somebody's driving because Florida has the worst drivers in the world.
No, they
Just
don't.
saying.
No, they
Oh
don't.
no. Oh no, no, no. Every day, every day I see somebody run a red light. Every day. I mean, no
No,
matter.
no, I haven't driven in Florida in a long time, but no, they don't. Chicago has the worst drivers, and California, I think, tops everyone. They have the absolute worst drivers. They speed in the rain, no matter what it is. It's an accident like every 30 yards. Yeah, it's no.
Where are you at anyway? Where do you live at?
Chicago.
Oh, you're Chicago. Okay,
Uh
okay,
huh.
okay.
Yep.
So,
And
but I
Chicago
mean,
drivers are
but
not much.
Florida drivers are notorious. They're bad, and the thing is, the insurance is really high here. I mean, we have no accidents, no speeding tickets. We have 2 cars. I guess they're full insurance, but like we're paying like close to 300 a month, and we're old. I was like,
That's not that well. That's not that bad.
well,
It's not that bad.
it
Okay,
should
Tim.
be
Before we get out of here, you got to give me one of your affirmations for the rest of the year. Give me a
okay.
good one.
The affirmation that I'm gonna give the affirmation. This is something has to do with monetary stuff, okay? And it's not, but it's something, and I say this every day. First thing is, I always have more money than I need. 3 times. You say 3 times in the morning and three in the afternoon 3 times. And the other one is, I can't help attract more money into my life. And I say that 3 times a day. And
Okay.
now say it with gratitude. That see, I have this thing, gratitude, one with it says one with God, gratitude. Okay, grease of the universe. The how affirmations and thinking in the now and being the affirmations. Okay, how that works is that you have to be in gratitude. That's the oil. That's the gas. That's the grease. That's it gets going. So you believe that. You do that for 30 days, and then tell me if anything's good. Tell me what
So
happens.
it is. I have more money than I need,
I always
and
have more. I always have more money than I need,
I always have more money than I need,
and I can't help attract more money into my life.
and I can't help attract more money into my life.
Each of those three times a day.
All right, there you go.
Try for a month. Then
30
I want
days. Okay, so 30 days. I know you're gonna be traveling, but I'll see your email in
okay.
30 days.
Yeah,
See how it's working.
but make sure you do it right. You know what you do is I do is like write a card. You know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
like put one like in your car, in your mirror, in your purse, and do it. And you can have thing like and also I like say like I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm
Right,
healthy,
right.
I'm healthy. I just I mean your mind is thoughts are things.
But you're
They
right
are.
though. Yeah, but you are right. It's like what you think is what you attract.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I mean,
yeah.
that's, I do, I try to do kind thing. I try to be a good person. I have days that like I'm a little impatient, but I say, okay, I'm trying to they get those days. You're not perfect. I mean, I'm not Christ-like. I'm just trying to be a good human
That's
being.
right.
You know what I mean? And do the best I can and try to show joy, try to show love, try to show gratitude, and try to do kindness. And I think if we do that, if we all did that, imagine what a great world we'd be in. Oh my God.
Unbelievable, right? It would be unbelievable.
Oh, no one
No,
would be hungry. Everyone would be good.
yeah,
We'd have
yeah,
art, science. No, maybe great. So I don't know.
yeah.
Whatever.
There
Okay.
you guys go. So you guys are listening to Tim
Okay.
McGarry, Unfiltered. Tim is a great guy. He's got to come back after he gets back from his 3 month
I
vacation.
will.
I am uber jealous, but okay. Gee whiz, 3 months. Wow, wow. And
All
I'm gonna
right.
tell. So Tim, I didn't forget about you, but you guys know I had an issue with my last editor. So the magazine is there. I have it's on the website. So all of the issues that we have are on the website, and Tim's face is right there because you're on the cover. Um,
Oh, okay.
you're on the cover. So if you go to the website, it's you'll see. He has to adjust it because it's not. I can't see your face totally, but your LS album, all that's right there. It's going to be on the first page inside the magazine.
Okay. All right. Well, just if you just show me where
I'll send you the link. I'll send you
send me the link. Yeah, that'd
yeah.
be
I'll send you the
great.
link.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you so much. I love you, man.
I
You know
love
that.
you. You know I love having you. Tim is my brother that I never had. My brother from I never had another mother or father.
That's right. We all won, baby. We're
Yes,
all
all one. You
we
travel
all.
safe, okay?
All right. Love you. Talk
Keep
to you
sending me
later.
your good music.
Okay, I will. I'll send you something new soon.
All right,
Okay.
sounds good. Okay,
All right.
thank you.
All right. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, Tim, where you at? He's gone now. Where Brianna go? All right, you guys. So there you guys have it. That was my conversations unfiltered with Tim McGeary and with Peter Howard. It's been a full show. I was gonna get to some other stuff, but I can't get to it now because it's 8 o'clock. I got to get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to my amazing guests. You guys keep celebrating Black History. And I saw Dr. Fight was on for a hot second, but he'll be back. He's been missing in action for a couple of weeks for a couple of weeks, but hopefully he will return to us on Monday. As long as the Lord says, we'll see you guys and talk to you guys on Monday. Have a wonderful, great rest of the week. Remember what I said. There's a number on my social media. You guys call Washington D.C. They will direct you. The system will direct you to find your representative of your state and in your direct area, and you can leave a message about the disaster that you don't want Elon Musk in your personal business or Donald Trump. We have the power. We have to use it. We must use it. And with all of us calling in to our different representatives, they will get the message, and that we will fight, and our voices will be heard that way. Okay. In the meantime, and in between times, see miracles in life every single day. Love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in on A and O. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, Brianna Murray, she popped in.
Hi.
Hi. You still? Hey, Poo Poo. Poo thirsty.
Say we getting sleepy.
Yay. You get sleepy. You get sleepy. Hi, Shug. Mwah. What's up?
He said he woke up.
You woke up.